Because the true I cannot be said to exist or not exist. The true I is infinity. You can't say they exist or don't exist. That's the very interesting and most difficult part to accept or to actually enter into. Okay, it was my dream tonight. I can see 2 pages, one above and one below. And I noticed that it was a bit swelling at a certain part on the second page below. So I wasn't happy with that. So I used my hand and I noticed I could shift it up to the first page. By using my right hand, I could shift up to the swollen area up to the first page. What's interesting is that on the first page, there is a slit that can be opened. It's like a window that can be opened. So, except that the window is actually made up of one top area and one bottom area. So what I did was I just moved that swollen area into that window. And as I place it into the window, the upper window goes inward and the lower window goes inward. And when that happens, the swollen area disappeared. Everything is back to normal. In other words, how do I solve something that is not interesting in my world? First thing I should do is to be able to shift that swollen area to the first page. That's right. And after that, what I need to do is to place that swollen area in between the upper and the lower slits. And then I'll use my hand to close the slit. And the result would be that the swollen area enters beneath the first page and disappears. So the dream is telling me what I can do to solve problems in space-time. But before I could interpret it correctly, I have first to define what is the first page and the second page, right? My guess is that the second page is what I see out there in the world. The problems that I see around me. The problems that are in my thoughts, but they're actually a thought-based problem. And they're coming from outside me, so to speak. And so these problems, I should shift it from the bottom page upwards to the first page. What is the first page? The first page is to view the problem in the first person. That's what first page would mean. Whereas the second page would be, I'm viewing the problem as a third party. I'm viewing the problem as coming from the other side. But the first page would be that I'm viewing the problem as my problem, caused by me. So that's what the dream is telling you. I guess you are noticing sounds at the background, am I right? Well, that's because I'm playing table tennis. There are not many people here, I guess. I'm waiting for a friend to come. So while I wait for him, I will just have to speak on my video. But what's interesting is that the dream is telling me that a third party problem first must be viewed from a first party perspective. That's the essential truth. But what's interesting, the dream is telling me, is that I have to place it in between the upper slit and the lower slit, which acts like a window. And I have to use my hand, that's right, my right hand, to move down the upper slit and to move up the lower slit. And the problem, the swollen area, is inside the window and it's closed up. And mysteriously, it will never appear again. I have to do that. That's what the dream is telling me. I cannot really wait for the upper slit to come down by itself or the lower slit to go up by itself. I can't wait that. My right hand has to take action to bring the upper and lower slit together. I always call that nullification. But in a dream, I'm required to actually do it. I'm required to actually do it. What that means is that salvation is not coming from another person. It has to come from me. I have to actually do it myself. To bring the upper slit of the window and bring it down, while to bring the lower slit of the window, bring it up. And when I do that, the swollen area is beneath the two slits, and the swollen area is no longer seen. A problem is like a swollen area. What the dream is telling me is to place that swollen area into a window and cover it up. It is returned to its breath. Problems in this world is like a space-time deviation. And all that a man needs to do is to bring this deviation to the double slit. Bring it in there, and then it will enter the breath and will no longer be there. Problems don't really exist. They only exist in the space-time. In truth, at the level of breath, it's perfection. Let me repeat. Problems don't exist at the level of breath. Problems exist only in space-time. It exists only as a result of our thoughts, because thoughts is space-time. So what we need to do is to bring this problem back into breath, and this will solve the problem. The question is, of course, how to bring it back to breath. And as the dream is saying, and as I'm speaking all the time through the video, you have to take the problem through the double slit. What's that? Through the opposite polarities. Bring it in between them. And how to do that? You have to do it by yourself. You have to make sacrifices in this world. As I said, in this world. Because the double slit belongs to space-time. So you have to put the swollen area in between the double slit. You have to make sacrifices in space-time to ensure that two polarities are brought together. This brings about a self-nullification. What is a self-nullification? It's a nullification of two identities of space-time. Only space-time identities needs to be nullified. But beneath space-time is the level of breath, and breath is where the true I exists. The true I is the divine one presence that sits in all of us, and there is no problem there. And I mentioned the word, the true I exists. Actually, that is a wrong word to use, because the true I cannot be said to exist or not exist. The true I is infinity. You can't say that it exists or don't exist. That's the very interesting and most difficult part to accept or to actually enter into. Right where I am, I cannot really say that I exist or don't exist. I'm infinite. But space-time, when my eyes are open to, everything apparently appears to exist, physically. But the truth is that you don't know whether it exists or don't exist. And problems are also like that. They appear to become a problem or swollen up simply because it is a thought-based problem. You create it yourself. So you have to nullify them at the level of space-time into breath. That's the solution of life.